Hi, Colin Frager from Council Approval Group. We're here to answer your question. What is the difference between a secondary dwelling and a dual occupancy? Great question, and I'm going to answer that right now. So if you're thinking about what development to put on your property, you're probably looking at a variety of different options. One of them might be a secondary dwelling, another one's a dual occupancy, and you just know what's the difference between the two? Are there pros and cons? Now, I think it's pretty awesome video on this, which is actually on site where we've done a dual occupancy, and I go through the reasons why I think a dual occupancy is better than a secondary dwelling and some reasons behind that. I won't go into right now, but make sure you do watch that video. However, I want to show you right now what is the difference between a secondary and a dual occupancy, and probably best if I illustrate it on my notepad here. So I'm just going to move over to my screen and show you the difference between a secondary dwelling and a granny flat, or a secondary dwelling and a dual occupancy. So similar concepts. Dual occupancy means dual properties on the same property. It means two properties on the same title. Granny flat or secondary dwelling means that there's two properties on the same. Different pieces of legislation often, and also different rules around them. So a principal dwelling with a secondary dwelling, so P for principal, secondary dwelling. Secondary dwelling is often limited in terms of its floor area. There are certain restrictions that we need to go through. There's also, there's not as much freedom. I don't like them as much because you get a lower rental return because you've got a smaller floor area. I also don't like them as much as a dual occupancy. As a dual occupancy, you can get a larger, but you can often subdivide them and depart from minimum lot sizes, which is awesome, and it's a strategy which I go through in the book Secrets of Property Millionaires Exposed, which I highly recommend you reading as well if you can get a copy of that. So the advantage of a dual occupancy is many over a secondary dwelling, but it's probably more of a conversation based on your personal needs, the challenges you're facing, and the reasons why you came onto this video. So if you would like to do one of two things, I would love to offer you a special publication which we've produced, which is your ultimate guide in achieving council approval. We go through secondary dwellings and dual occupancies, and actually in here is a link to the video that I referred to earlier. So that will probably be your first step. If, however, you just want someone to talk to, you want to move forward, you're tired of sitting on the fence, you're tired of researching, you're ready, you want to take control of your financial future and your financial destiny, then I invite you to make a consultation with one of our team. We'll go through for 30 minutes at the appointed time with you what you're trying to achieve, your property, and what really is there as the next step for you to be able to get you on the right track so that you can leave it to us and you can move forward in doing things that you'll enjoy doing and get back to doing things you love doing. My name is Colin Frager. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found some tips helpful, and we look forward to seeing you soon.